But it's so easy to start to get into all the details, and you're in the dirt and you're looking at plants, and I just want to have a backup moment and say, so what? Why are we doing this? What's the purpose behind your monitoring technique? And so that's kind of where the Hermits Peak Watershed Alliance has been active restoring this creek from the bridge all the way down to Prince Street. And this is part of the rewinding of the Gainas Phase 1. And you guys just saw that this transect has a bunch of awesome vegetation along it. What you'll see downstream is an area where we had the dozers in the creek. It's bare, it's denuded.
You'll see it.
We had to rewind the creek. That means we had bare dirt, and that's what this looked like in 2019. So you guys get to see not only a restored reach here, but you're gonna go downstream and see a lot of bare dirt, and those are gonna be the easy transects, by the way. Bare dirt, bare dirt.
Although there's a lot of woody vegetation that we were tramping through earlier today.
Very good. But so what's the story we're trying to track? We're trying to track the function of the river. This river was straightened by a dozer in the 70s, and they called that river restoration. They did it, the Army Corps of Engineers did it. They called it river restoration, they straightened it, and then also over time we've said, look at all this messy vegetation, it's getting in the way. We've denuded all the riparian. We have cut the trees and straightened the creek. And now Hermits Peak Watershed Alliance is trying to put the crooked back in the creek. Well, why do we need that? Because that allows for all the diversity, all the woody vegetation to become established, the meandering creek to have pools big enough for the fish to live in. The ecosystem function is what we're trying to put back in this creek. But we'll never be able to restore it to the meandering creek that it was historically, a mile wide. We also divert all the water to Story Lake now for the city's water supply. We have an altered potential, but we're trying to restore it to the best that it can be here. So the story that you guys are going to be tracking, and the so what, is going to be a story that shows bare soil from a restoration project turn into forbs, willows, cottonwood trees. And so the data that you guys are collecting is going to show that this restoration was successful over time. So that we don't just come in here like they did in the 70s and say, well, this place is crooked, let's just straighten it out and call it fixed. Let's think about what is fixed. What's ecological function, and what's our purpose and goal? And our goal here is to restore the river, but also to connect the community back to this river, because this river is the communities. So we remind people to come fishing here, and then they fall in love with the meander of a creek. They don't know that it's these technical terms, but that's that function. So that's why we're here, and thank you for your time and your monitoring today. And if you have any questions, just let me know.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Amina. I think that was a great overview of why we wanted to do these labs and have you guys involved and, you know, look at this data and be able to present it so that it can be useful for such great groups like the Hermits Peak Watershed Alliance and the restoration work that they've really invested in with the State Environment Department, Surface Water Quality Bureau, community members, as well as the Environmental Protection Agency Region 6 out of Dallas, Texas. So this is a really big kind of group effort, and we're really excited about how things have gone thus far and how you guys can be part of, you know, the story and helping us see how things are working with the restoration work. So I think what we'll do now is we're going to go ahead and break you guys up into your groups. So remember, we told you guys, and it's in the PowerPoint, which group you're in. So, and what we did was we laid out 4 transects, 2 in phase 1, 2 in phase 2. They're 60 meters in length, which is almost 200 feet. I always have to convert because I grew up with meters, with the metric system. So 60 meters is roughly 180, you know, 190 feet. So at every 10 meters, a quadrat is going to be placed and the vegetation the vegetation composition and diversity is going to be done. Now we know because this is a 2-hour lab, we're not going to be able to do it all. So that's why Annabella is going to be helping us take pictures so that we have 6 quadrat pictures for each transect that you guys will be working in your groups to analyze over the next few labs. So, so again, group 1, if we could have Marshall here, great, and group 2, and I'll walk you guys over to where transect number 2 is Jalen and Sam. Group 3, Tavita, get down here. Desiree, you'll be going with Santini and Annabella to transect number 3. They'll show you where that is. And group number 4, Brady and Donovan, you'll also be going with Santini and Annabella to see where your transect is. So for you guys at home, while the students are putting the data into the tablets, Amina and Catherine are going to walk the whole length of the 4 transects, and they're going to continue to tell you the story of the restoration work and talk about the structures and some of the issues that was happening here in the Guyanas River. So, all right.
Julie, one quick thing.
Oh, yes.
Each transect corresponds to your group number. So this is transect 1 is group 1, the next meter tape is transect 2, group 2.
Yes.
You will have 6 quadrats per. Okay, so it's going to be at 10 meter mark, 20 meter mark. These tapes both sides. One side is feet, one side is meters. Make sure you're looking at the right side.
That's right. Very
Okay.
good. Thank you for reminding me of
Your
that.
quadrats are 10 meters on the right, 20 meters on the left, 30 meters on the right, 40 meters on the left. Okay? Try and finish everything on your survey before you go to the next one. Meaning from the top all the way to the bottom, which includes also a photo. Do not move to the next quadrant till you finish. If you run out of time, we will label and do the photo only, and you can go back and work in your groups based on those photos. Any questions?
That was very good. Yes.
When you say lay down the quadrat at 10 meters,
So
how many times do you lay it down? Do you lay it down 6 times for that 10-meter section?
Yes, and make sure your bottom, depending on whether you're left on the right side of the tape, the corner is at the 10 meters, right? So if you're on the right side of the tape, you're going to be here. If you're on the left side of the tape, you're going to be here.
Let's go ahead and just lay it down
Okay.
just for the first one.
So group 1, where would you lay your first quadrant?
10 meters from here?
10 meters, you're going to look at the tape is
Yep.
down,
Forget which
and
side
one
it-
side is feet and one